Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes. This one we may get into some especially adult themes, so.
Yes, big trigger warning, big content warning ahead of time. Everybody, I'll. So we have Greg Hartwick in the chat so far.
So far, yeah, Greg's the only one I see.
Hi, Greg. You dog at the S. I don't believe you, young man. You never wrote it. You know that you're lying to me. Now you go stand in the corner for an hour and keep your hands off your pants.
Well, there were a few people in my chat earlier that said they were going to be coming over here, so hopefully they'll follow through.
Well, it's very common that half the people here don't show up until a quarter past.
I'll wait a little bit before I get into any of these, especially since giving YouTube and all that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our topic, National Essay Day.
Yes.
I mean, I tried to get it going with Greg, but then you guys just switched over. You just keep diverting. You keep pivoting. You guys just can't face an argument. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I thought you were flat earthers for a moment.
Okay, well,
that's it. I'm done.
Maybe you're helping make a case for me having ADHD.
So when we were all kids and like elementary schools, when they first started doing this kind of crap, probably around 4th, 5th, maybe 6th grade, where they said time to write an essay. Did that put shock into your heart? And oh my God, I can't possibly do this. And that's so long. And like you look at an empty piece of school ruled paper and you think it's so big and there's so many words on that and I can't write that many. Did it freak you guys out?
No, never really bothered me.
Actually, it was one of the parts of school I actually enjoyed. And my biggest problem was always trying to keep it down to what they said the maximum size was.
Yeah, well, you're a writer type.
Yeah.
I was usually pretty good at writing those.
I was scared to death of them. I never wanted to have anything to do with them. I thought for sure I was going to fail, and I avoided them like the plague.
Then again, usually it was also getting around the time where I could have internet access to research stuff too. So.
Okay, Stephanie's putting up some scenery for us.
Foggy scenery.
Wipe your lens off.
Oh, hey, trees.
Yeah.
Who's washing their laundry?
No, I'm shaking up my V8.
Ah.
Nectar of the gods.
Really, you can still lift a big block engine.
No, in pieces, one at a time. Not the block itself anymore. No, not a chance.
Well, then how are you shaking a V8?
Oh, baby, you should see how I can shake. I thought Stephanie was going to like that one.
Essays in school were one of the few things that I actually got positive feedback from the teachers from.
Same here.
Yeah, because most of the time it was, I was having trouble following things, and I was growing up in the 70s, so they had no idea. Nobody even had the word for autism. So a lot of the classwork, I just really didn't understand the instructions. But yeah, when they left it to the essay, and well, part of my problem is, brevity has never been a strong point for me. So when I can go on for 5 pages about something, then I'll do better.
Hi, Al. Hi, Nerdy. Hi, Trees.
Yeah, kind of like the report I did on ferrets. I had my pet ferret, and I brought him into class and had him run around the classroom while I was reading the report.
Ooh, Trees! Don't you love the idling of a high heavy cam motor? They always sound like they're about to die, but keep going.
Yeah, it's the the Mercury that my brother lent me, I wanted to change the spark plugs, and it's like even that became a major operation on that thing. And I can't even get the boots out of it. I'd have to have one of the actual boot removal tools. Any other car I've done, I haven't needed one.
Well, that's the nature of the material that they make the boot out of. Some materials really like to adhere to the ceramic.
Yeah.
I like the connectors in an old Volkswagen Bug. They're Bakelite, and you took the top off the spark plug, and so it had those threads on it, and it would grab onto the threads with a little cotter pin, or I should say a pinch pin.
Well, I should say it's at least not as bad as the Chevy Venture van I had. This was the actual manufacturer's instructions for changing the spark plugs. Is to change the rear three. It said to remove two of the engine mounts and tilt the engine forward.
Yeah, that's not that uncommon.
Yeah, it just seems an awful lot for something that's supposed to be routine maintenance.
Well, it's not routine maintenance anymore. Spark plugs are lasting 60, 80,000, 100,000 miles. I personally wouldn't let mine in there that long, but they can keep going.
Yep, nerdy, they still all have spark plugs.
The danger with leaving spark plugs in too long is the electrolytic action that can happen between the steel of the spark plug and the aluminum of the head. It can make them almost impossible to remove without damaging the head severely. So that's why I change mine every 30,000 or so.
Yeah, I'll just when I first got this one up here, I had to replace the voltage regulator. And even now, it's like it doesn't run smooth, and it cannot do a sudden acceleration.
I need the voltage regulator.
Anybody remember the old?
But that's why I'm thinking that if I could replace all the spark plugs, that maybe while the voltage regulator was going bad, it got the spark plugs fouled up.
No, that doesn't work that way.
Anybody remember the old song "Crazy About a Mercury"?
Yep.
There you go.
No, I don't.
Gonna buy me a Mercury and cruise it up and down the road.
Yeah, this is definitely a car I would have never bought myself, but 2 weeks from now, I'll be down in Wisconsin to get the van back.
Great. That's great.
Perp, when are you going to get that van back?
In about 2 weeks, I'll be down in Wisconsin.
Okay, so March. You want to go to see the eclipse?
Place to stay would be an issue.
Yeah. We'll take care of that. You just want to say yes or no, and if you're going to come and help with gas and stuff.
Yeah, if it can be lined up, I think it'd be interesting.
Okay, I'm actually negotiating with my older brother to come with me because I don't have a vehicle to get there, and he does, and he's never seen an eclipse. So I thought I would see if we could talk him into it, and it actually didn't take much to do it. But now I have to figure out a way to get from here to Milwaukee, or Port Washington, actually, just north of Milwaukee. And I figured, well, now Purple's never seen an eclipse. Why don't we have her come along, and you can pilot us down to Milwaukee, and then Gary can pilot us down to Indiana. We're looking at Terre Haute. I think that's where Porpoise lives. and we'll just drive my brother crazy. We'll be hanging around a bunch of trans women.
Yeah, it's a long drive, and I hope there's AC.
In April?
Well, if you're driving to the sun, you're gonna want AC.
Well, yeah, but we'll go at night when it's
Oh,
dark.
okay.
Well, you can get rid of that problem by viewing the eclipse from the dark side of the moon.
This is true as well. Well, no, you can't actually. It's real bright on that side at that time.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
I vaguely recall
nerdy-
seeing an eclipse.
Nerdy, it will be April 8th, and it will peak in the United States at about 3:15 in the Central Time Zone. And it should be an annular eclipse, which is the one where the moon is a little bit smaller than usual, and so you get more of a ring, along with the total eclipse. I mean, it's still total. There's no doubt about that. But you get a better display of flaring out there, a better corona appearance, that sort of thing.
Yeah, the zone of totality is just to the northwest of me, so I might manage to make it up to.
Oh, you should absolutely go, Stephanie, if you've never seen.
The ideal would be Katahdin. Go climb Katahdin and watch it on the top of the mountain. That'd be awesome.
Any of you folks that are in the area, it's basically a line from like Texas, Oklahoma, up to Canadian provinces near Stephanie and Maine. Absolutely fucking go. If you've never seen an eclipse, it is just something that will stay with you for the rest of your life. If you have kids, absolutely take the kids. Fuck school. This is much more important than school.
Yeah, I vaguely recall seeing one when I was quite young. You know, maybe around 8 years old or something like that. Because I remember, building this like box camera thing, to view the eclipse, without looking directly at the sun.
A pinhole camera with a box.
Yeah.
The cool thing is it under a tree. I remember this was under a tree. There were basically pinhole cameras through the leaves, and you could see the shadow on the ground of the.
Exactly.
Nature provides.
Just wild. And the weird thing is that that darkness in the middle of the day, and the temperature drops, and the birds start to sing. It's just crazy.
Yeah, the temperature drop is the most spooky thing to me.
Yeah.
And you guys in the chat too, if you have a camera and it's one of the even middle range to better digital cameras, and it has a zoom that's like 20x or so, you would be able to zoom in far enough to get some very good eclipse photographs. You'll need a tripod, and you will need a solar filter. And a lot of cameras nowadays do not have a way to attach a filter, so you buy what's known as a gel filter, which is just like flexible plastic that's the correct tone. And you can like cut a circle and tape it on, or mount it in some kind of ring and tape that on, or however you want it. But it doesn't have to be very fancy. It just has to get that filter over the lens. And it has to be an official solar filter, not neutral density. Those are not dark enough. Solar filter. And they're cheap. You get a big sheet of solar material for like $10.
Demon Orb saying you'll find people giving out viewing shades, I'm sure, but we all remember our former president having a glance,
I hope he does it again. It's additive,
Oh. Well, the last eclipse I was up in Michigan. But actually what I did was I took my my welding goggles with me to view it through those.
I think I actually had several pairs of sunglasses on.
Yeah, neither of those are really safe.
You
can say welding glasses. Oh yeah, well it was pretty dark. It's not nearly as dark as a solar filter. And for the cheap cost of it, invest.
Yeah, I actually ended up using a mirror, or not using a reflection system
Uh-huh.
to see it with
That's
the
also a good
glasses.
way.
You
But
could
I
write an
strongly
essay
encourage all
on
of you
it.
to do it. This is like one of your passages as a human being on this planet, is to experience this if you can.
And you can write a 10,000-word essay on it.
You should be able to. It's that monumental.
Well,
And
Demon
flat
Orb's
earthers
comment.
and flat earthers go crazy because they say it's not happening.
No, is it a dragon eating the moon, eating the sun? Is that what it is for the flat earther people? Is it?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
and then he shits it back out.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
It is, but we're
Yeah,
kind of denying that truth.
Yeah, actually, that the eclipse does completely dispel the thing of the moon being its own light source. Because why would it go totally dark if the moon is in front of the sun then?
Well, it's also the kind of rules out the moon is transparent.
And the other thing about this eclipse is apparently there's a comet that's going to be
Yes.
close to. So during totality, you should be able to see the comet too, that's wild.
Well, don't you know?
That's crazy.
Well, don't you know the moon is a hologram up there? So it's it's a hologram
yeah.
produced by NASA.
Oh, well, we all know that the moon is actually hollow, and
it's hollow,
space aliens live inside. And,
of
and
course.
actually, it was towed into orbit by said space aliens. As a
Yes.
It
place
was
for
not towed.
habitation.
It was placed where it belongs by the giants that used to live on Earth. When they dug out the material from the Grand Canyon and packed it into a snowball-like shape, and put it up
Were
there in
they-
the sky.
Yeah, they used to
Were
live in
they
the hollow.
Nephilim?
Well, yeah, they used to live in the hollow Earth. Now they live in the hollow moon.
No, Nerdy's got it. The penguins have to do maintenance and replace the light bulb in the sun.
Yeah, okay.
No, they just changed the whole sun and they recycled the old one. They've got this factory of black holes that they send it to, and they chew it up and spit it out.
Demon Orb made a comment mentioning the Mitsubishi eclipse, and that actually reminded me of one of the essays I wrote in high school. Because Dodge was advertising some of their cars as built by Mitsubishi, master car builder of Japan. So I had to do an essay to remind people of what Mitsubishi was really most famous for.
Oh, that would be the Zero.
Yes, they built the planes that attacked Pearl Harbor.
Which had a fabric fuselage, by the way, so they were pretty easy to shoot down.
It was the Japanese art of origami. They were basically paper over a wooden frame.
Well, now, come on, don't be quite that nasty. Your jet airliners today have a fabric tail.
Yeah,
Did you know
I'm
that?
not being nasty about it. I mean, I think it was pretty ingenious.
Did any of you out there know that airliners have a fabric covering on their tail instead of aluminum?
No, I wasn't aware of that.
Carbon fiber, I believe.
Well, that's pretty strong stuff. So
Carbon fiber is amazing. Carbon fiber mat's pretty.
I've been thinking of building a chastity belt out of carbon fiber.
Damn you, Jenny! That was almost disastrous.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Now you caught me right at the right moment there.
I was hoping for some nose squirt.
Damn you, Jenny! Damn you!
Yeah, you just got Stephanie to irrigate her sinuses.
Oh, cheaper than a neti pot. You know?
Well.
My shoulder has gotten so bad I can't even lift a bottle of water to drink.
Mm.
Oh,
Kind of how about as bad my shoulders get hit with my arthritis sometimes, I guess.
yeah. I'm getting a little disturbed by how fast I'm going through the ibuprofen lately. But that won't give me anything else for the arthritis.
Ooh, you just reminded me. I have painkillers here.
They actually recommended I switch from ibuprofen to naproxen sodium.
Naproxen's good. It works. It's really good.
Naproxen is amazing. I'm not allowed to take it anymore, but wow.
Yeah, I was taking a prescription dose of ibuprofen for the arthritis, and it was like stopped working, kind of. And I was like, this one's not really doing the job. And the guy was like, "No, switch to naproxen sodium."
Yeah, actually, I use the naproxen and the ibuprofen in combination.
Yeah, I'll usually say the ibuprofen when I have a headache, but for the arthritis, I'll take naproxen sodium.
And for you amateurs out there, naproxen sodium is Aleve as a brand name.
Yeah, I don't usually buy the brand names because I'm paying $10-15 more for just the name.
Yep.
I wasn't
I just
recommending. I
buy
was
the
just
store brand.
informing.
Yeah, I go with the store brand. It's the same crap.
Yep.
You're paying less.
Significantly less. The pharmacy I go to at the hospital where I have all my shit done is the cheapest pharmacy I've ever seen in my life. There are some of their stuff they sell is half the price of what you'll find at Walgreens or even Walmart when it's discounted. It's just so
Really?
impressive that they treat their patients that well.
The pharmacy at my clinic has an extremely small selection of over-the-counter stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely not a large selection, but it's inexpensive and it's perfectly good quality.
Hello, Skits.
Skitsy!
Hey, Skits.
We have Ember and Captive Desk and
There
who's
we
this
go.
Stephanie
Yep.
person? What are they doing here? Didn't we ban that person?
Where did your name Skits Crasher come from? I don't know why it's on my mind today, but I'm wondering that.
I don't know. Maybe
Well,
he crashed one of those little Bobcat tractors.
No, that's a
No, that would
skid.
be a skip.
Skid.
Yeah.
Skid steer. Yeah, skid steer.
Ember got her name because she's glowing.
Yep. Oh, I have really loved just seeing Ember blossom.
We did a little makeup the other day on producer Wes's channel. That was kind of fun. We just sort of like, I'm such a minimalist. It's like, I'm done, It's like, all right, good.
I was over on Kentucky Atheist's channel. They were complimenting you and how you've been pretty much putting yourself out there through this whole transition thing. Through the whole.
Well, it's hard not to be honest. Whether you're doing it online or just kind of.
It is a thing. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I feel I need to be out about it, just because I'm in one of the safest states for it, I know that a lot of people in some of the other states couldn't be open about it without actually even risking their lives.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody can put their face on camera and watch the whole transition process from start to finish here. So it's a thing. It's something to be complimented for.
I sure wish we had that option when I was a kid. It was so hard. You had to be worried every second of every day about who's going to see you and what's going to happen if they do. And
that's why
awful.
it's kind of weird, having pre everybody's got a camera phone in their pocket deal, where the whole that became a thing in the community, where it's like the document the atrocities as you go along, day to day to day to day to day. So you've got a lot of pre-post photographs, and I have none. Really, I've got none. I've got no documentation of that whole process.
Yeah,
and what's funny is every now and again I'll put up a picture of myself as a teenager, as a kid or something like that, and people say, "Oh, wow, you were really cute." And it's like, I was just so goddamn androgynous my entire life that it's just really funny. But whatever.
Yay, congratulations.
Yeah. Your next big step. I'm glad you got
Ember.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah, and it is a whole long process, and all this bullshit that the anti-trans people say about, teenagers getting surgery and that, and it's like, no.
Or how we're sterilizing the kids with puberty blockers. That one I'm hearing a lot lately.
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So some of the stuff can be used for chemical sterilization, but it's not the same dosage. It's just
it is not used for chemical sterilization at all, ever.
It is not ever.
It's
doesn't
just
work
not
that way.
that purpose drug.
If you're talking about GnRH agonists, no, it doesn't. When you stop, you just go back to whatever. Again, just delayed, and it's very rarely prescribed more than 2 years, really.
If they want to chemically castrate somebody, they will go to Depo-Provera and progesterone and other mixtures like that. Not a puberty blocker.
Not Lupron. Not a GnRH agonist. It doesn't work that way.
Which is interesting enough. What is it? DES? Diethylstilbestrol?
Diethylstilbestrol. I'm a DES kid. Hello.
Are you?
That's me. Yep.
Well, that explains your trans.
Well, it could. I mean, there's lots of the etiology of it is still up in the air, but it definitely there was some connection drawn between DES and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was used to be given to women who had a series of miscarriages and had a hard time maintaining a pregnancy, and that was my mom. There were like 4 pregnancies between my sister and myself. That and none of them would. Most were 3 miscarriages and one stillbirth. So.
Huh. I wonder if they gave when she was pregnant. Because I know that I was a very difficult pregnancy for her.
Hooray, my pipe is clean.
Okay.
When you got a pipe and it starts gurgling when you light it, you know it's time to clean it.
What's yours made out of?
It's just an old miniature corncob pipe.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to get a nice little one hitter, but I haven't been anywhere near a head shop lately. No big deal.
Yeah, I've got to go back to the shop here. When I bought the gummies, he gave me a free sample of this CBD cream. And this stuff actually worked on my arthritis, but I can't. The smell puts me off. So I gave it to Soft Girl, and she's really thrilled with it. So I've got to go and buy her some more.
Does that shop sell recreational pot? You can say that it's legal,
Yeah, no, I'm betting they probably do, but actually I haven't been in there since this stuff got legalized this summer.
Oh, okay.
So at the time I was there, yeah, they could only sell the stuff with the CBD oils.
The closest places to me would be in the Twin Cities. The city of Rochester passed a moratorium on recreational pot sales for 2 years after the date it became legal.
I heard about that.
What the fuck? What's the point of that shit?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly where to buy it around here, but I know there's a couple of head shops. If there's something you're looking for, maybe I could get it for you.
No. I have a friend around here that's got some good connections.
Sounds like that was a pretty harsh hit.
Mm-hmm. First hit off a clean pipe.
Now, let's see.
Okay, yeah, Mage, you had some topics for us.
Yeah, I guess since we were talking about the old trans thing, we can cover her next Benedict first.
Yeah.
All right.
I've done several, two basic takes on next. What's disturbing to me is one thing that's disturbing to me is the failure of many people in the media, especially the mainstream media, to center Nax in the story. It's suddenly it becomes a story about Chaya Rychek and Taylor Lorenz instead of the kid. And it's, surely Rychek's malevolent influence on the zeitgeist is worth covering, but there's a dead child.
Okay.
Well, true, but she is really, she's very, very dangerous, and she needs to be just absolutely pounded out of society.
Okay, well, I've been having some interactions with a few right wingers on the shitters lately. Of course, they referred to anyone on the left as subhuman, and referred to Nex as it. But their biggest argument on the whole thing is, well, first of all, I think it is important that we do not know the cause of death yet, so we can kind of shelf that argument. But their biggest argument is that Nex started the fight. And they said that they threw water on the girls who then pounded her. Well, this is what the quote was. Is what Nex says. We were laughing, and they had said something like why do they laugh like that? Referring to Nex. And they were talking about this in front of us. The team said it in the 21-minute video about the student, and they had an altercation with us. And so I went up there and I poured water on them, and all three of them came at me. So they were making fun. So they're making fun of Nex, making fun of the way they were dressed, the way they were laughing, and they poured water on the girls, and the girls attacked them, and that's the altercation there.
It's much worse than that. They spent the last year or so absolutely hounding her and bullying her in school and out of school. For
time out.
months and months and months.
Sorry, Jenny.
Every day.
Sorry to interrupt. but I think we need to make it very clear that Nax himself used he/him pronouns.
Oh, I thought it was
he went by his family used they/them, but he himself, his friends said he preferred he/him.
Oh, okay. I understood.
So I just want to make that clear, and this is what I mean about the coverage. The coverage, some of the coverage did not center the child, and that's infuriating. It's absolutely infuriating. But the best coverage was provided. There's a person, Joe. Can't remember I think it begins with a J. Is a journalist, works for NBC News. Did just tremendous coverage of this story, talking to his friends, talking to his cohort, talking to his family, and that's the and covering that the aspects of abuse that he'd suffered at the hands of his classmates. And to me, there was one guy who like maybe 4 days ago went before the Oklahoma school board, which apparently Oklahoma has a school board sort of thing, and called him out and said, "This is your fault. This is on you. What are you going to do about it?" And that's really kind of that's really kind of where it's at. I mean, you've got to push back on these people.
Yeah, some of the reporting actually had it where this was the first altercation Nex had with these girls. Even if it was even if that was true, obviously this wasn't in isolation, and there was obviously other altercations. Even if it wasn't with this particular group, there were obviously other altercations that led up to this.
The school administration also has quite a history of ignoring other forms of violence and bullying, regardless of whether or not it had something to do with trans. They just don't fucking care.
Yeah,
they just don't fucking care.
Completely failed to protect someone in their custody.
They're a tough up kind of place.
And Kaya herself went after a teacher in that school district. Yes. Who was supportive and friendly to the trans youth in her classroom in the school, to the point where this person was getting death threats.
The person resigned
and resigned.
Also, one other thing I want to add. Okay, let's say we don't know. Like I said, we don't know the cause of death just yet, but it could be from the actual assault, it could be from a suicide, or it could be from overdose.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm not done. Hold. And now, no matter whatever those three things are, it's still connected to the bullying. They could be coping with with drugs, trying to cope with the bullying. They could be the suicide also could have been being pushed beyond their limits. The bullying in itself could be. So no matter how you look at that, I don't see how it's still connected.
This entire situation is a chain of incompetence. Let me go through. Okay, of course, there's the fight of the children. If there was an issue with bathrooms and other people have been beaten up and harassed in the bathrooms before, why wasn't there a teacher assigned to be in there in between the classes and stuff? 2, when the school administration heard everything, the teacher who broke it up ignored it and did not attempt to call an ambulance themselves over it. I mean, we're dealing with a child who was bleeding on the floor and unconscious.
Yeah, they only had the school nurse look it over.
Let me continue. The school administration then furthered the fuck up by not taking their responsibility to send an ambulance. The nurse at the school, it was well beyond her competence, and she didn't do anything about it. Of course, we just talked about the ongoing issue with the school and bullying. When the kid finally did get to the hospital the first time, where everybody sees the interview and says, "Oh, well, she looks perfectly fine to me," blah, 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 blah. Yeah, great. The standards of care for a concussion, which she had to have had a concussion if her head's being pounded into the concrete. Yeah, okay, fine. Damn it. The standards of care for a concussion, which she undoubtedly had, is when there is unconsciousness, is that you keep the patient overnight for observation. Okay, this is like a really critical point because things like this happen on the second day. Okay, this is a known fact about concussions and brain injury and stuff. This is what happens, and they completely blew the standards, the basic standards of care. The doctors, the nurses, the administration of the hospital, they all fucked it up. All of them. The school board is fucked up because they don't care, because they don't have any bullying policies, because they don't hear these kinds of things and think that they're important at all. And in fact, bringing Chaya into their school board means she's a woman from California, and they have named her as their advisor to school book censoring. This woman has had Boston Pediatric Hospital closed down from bomb threats because of her little soldiers out there that she talks to and says terrible things about trans people and kind of points them in that direction to do these sorts of things. They have doxed dozens of people. They have chased people all the way back to Europe, okay, who moved from America to Europe to get away from them, to chase them over to Europe and go after them some more there. These people are not just punks on the internet. These people are domestic terrorists who have a hate thing going for trans people. Everything they've done is a hate crime, every single bit. And they should all be in freaking prison for the next 50 years. Chaya Raichik is dumb as a box of fucking rocks. She doesn't understand trans. She doesn't want to understand trans. She just can say a bunch of terrible, horrible things that she heard from the propaganda machine. She is totally ignorant and a horrible, vicious person. And nobody should be giving her a platform of any kind at all, anywhere, ever. I'm done. I've been waiting a couple weeks to say that to you folks. So.
Okay, yeah, I see where you're getting. Oh, he said next primary. He went in by a he, him pronouns at school, but also used they, them pronouns, which Nex's family also used several other friends and said Nex preferred he, him pronouns. Okay. So we'll try and use he, him. If I'll try to remember that for the future.
Yeah, it's one of the things that of the coverage I saw that it really didn't say anything about the family.
The family admits to not having been as supportive of her as they should have been. They have said that themselves, and they realize now the error of their ways, and they're completely supportive of her now. Well, even though, and they say that she's going to be interred with her chosen name and correct gender. So they seem to have at least woke up in this horrid tragedy. It's just sad that it's late. Maybe they'll become good allies for other people.
Just a kind of a side note, the name Nex, cool name.
Indeed.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about the choice of the name.
I always think Nexus when I hear it.
Yeah, it's no more unusual than purple.
I did consider having my name legally changed to Purple just because more people now know me as Purple than know my actual name anyway.
Well, as far as nickname goes, it's a pretty cool one.
There's there's an article on this, or a blog post that this guy Jude, what's his name? Jude, I can't remember his last name. I'll find the link. I covered it rather extensively on the last thing I did on this. That really breaks down the whole nexus of of the media coverage and the child and the whole thing, and it's just so beautifully written. It's just great. It's got an awful lot of fury written in, and understandably, because it's an infuriating situation. But it's just absolutely great.
Perp, I'm going to send you a picture on Twitter. Let's see here. I'll send it to the MidAmerica thing.
Okay.
It's something I want to share with our chat, our audience.
I'll close my thing out for now.
Just to catch you up on stuff that we've been babbling about and stuff like this, and I mean, every one of you out there are supportive as all fuck, but this is going to be a piece of fact, and it's going to be shoved in your face that you're going to never forget, and it's that in a good way. Go ahead, Perp, grab it and put it up.
I'm not seeing it in the group yet. Oh, there it is. Okay, it just came up.
Poof. Don't you love the internet that we can do that kind of shit? Isn't that just a fucking amazing?
It is.
Yeah, let me do the whole share screen thing here. Okay.
Can I click it one more time?
Yep. Yeah, it's just I have to switch between tabs to do the whole present thing. There we go.
Isn't that a lovely photograph, folks? Can you enlarge it at all, Perp?
Yeah, I'd have to.
Yeah, I'd have to download it into a viewer.
No,
we
can get. I can. Let me see if I can do this or.
Oh.
Because it gets. Okay, that's at 100%. All right. What you do is you click on it and then you right click and open a new tab, so you have just the image.
Yeah.
Okay. Folks, you've heard us talk about how being trans is something you're born with.
Hang on, I'll let me. I can get you a better picture here.
Okay.
Just a second here.
Yeah, these youngsters know a lot more about this computer stuff than I do.
There it is. There we are.
There we go. Okay, put it kind of in the middle. Or do you have to just... Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Right there?
Yeah. These, you've heard of us talking about it. This is something that you're born with, and that it's something that goes on in the brain during fetal development, and that how sexuality is determined in two ways by the developing fetus. First, in the first few weeks of pregnancy, when the physicality, the genital differentiation begins. For whatever your chromosomes say, and to create the structures. But then in the second trimester, what happens is that there's the fetus, who, by the way, produces its own hormones and stuff for its own growth and things. Mom doesn't regulate this, so you can't blame mom. Anyways, there's a wash of hormones that hits the fetus, and that wash of hormones is going to set the trigger for what sort of brain development occurs. And people love to say, well, that's just a bunch of bullshit. I've got this study here. And yeah, there's some studies that discount it, but they're also known to be bogus studies with no peer review and mostly opinion by people who are known to be haters. So we kind of discount those. But there are studies with patient groups in the hundreds and thousands that exist. And these are the reports that they come up with. This image that you're looking at, you can look at it from on right side or left side. You can look at it on top side and bottom side. On the left side, we have male. Okay, this is a part of the hypothalamus that actually fixates and appears to have everything to do with gender. There are other parts of the brain that are also tied to it with the various connections the brain has, but primarily it seems to be in the BST. It's this long fucking interstitial terminus, terminus, and all kinds of different names, and I don't remember it. I'm just too old. Anyways, on the right side we have, or on the left side we have male, and on the top we have a heterosexual male, and on the bottom we have homosexual male. Now, what you're looking at is you're looking at the density of neurons in that part of the hypothalamus. Okay. On the right side, you're looking at a heterosexual female on top and a trans woman on the bottom. Now, does number 1 look anything like number 4? Nope. And there's your proof that trans people are trans people because they're fucking born that way.
And this is not. I've seen number of studies showing similar stuff. So.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of other things on the brain development.
Yeah. So if any of you out there get into discussions now and this particular line comes up, you can say, no, I have seen it on official, like X-ray kind of study shit. Well, scans.
I definitely got, I'm going to save this image for later. This is often the sort of argument I tend to go toward too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, anyways,
hey, back.
I hope that that's helpful to some of you guys out there.
So again, got heterosexual male on top, left.
They're labeled.
Female, yeah, heterosexual. Just in case anybody can't read it from looking in the chat. Heterosexual female on the right here on the top. Bottom we have the homosexual male on the bottom and left, and then in male to female it says transsexual. We can probably says transgender there. Probably should say, but trans right on the bottom right there.
And if you have a brain anatomy diagram, you can actually point to this place in the brain where this occurs. So this isn't just not some flash in the pan. Oh, let's make something up kind of BS that the haters like to laugh at. This is absolutely fucking true.
Okay, Mark has a good question here. Does this suggest that homosexuality and transsexuality could be diagnosed by studying the cell structure?
Maybe, but what's the point? Because it's already fixed.
Well, unfortunately,
I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Maybe, but why? I think that there are so many various attributes of sex and gender that interrelate and intermix. I think this is really interesting, and it's actually been known for quite a long time, hence the label transsexual, which it hasn't really, it was the way was referred to in back in the day. In my day.
Yeah, it looks like this was from 1995, so
yeah, I was going to say 20 years ago it was an acceptable term.
And to me, it still is. It's Mox and X. I don't really care. For myself, other people may take offense at it, but I don't. But be that as it may, I think that that when we talk when people are talking about a human being, it's the entire organism, and there may be this factor, that factor, the other factor. It may be brain structure. It may be hormonal balance. It may be a predisposition. It may be a whole bunch of stuff, but the fact remains, no matter how you slice it, at the end of the day, there are people who are trans, and whether you can pin it down to a particular structure or a particular ideology or a particular cause doesn't matter. And one of the things that's a little bit scary is if you could you might be opening the door to, oh, well, we can cure it, which is,
that discussion already exists.
you
Yeah.
know, which is really dangerous because it's, I did a piece wherein I said being trans is easy, living trans is hard. And it's only hard because of the way it's appreciated in society and in the reaction, and viewing being a trans individual human being as being something that needs a cure or needs adjustment in some way, when it doesn't. It just needs to be appreciated as part of the vast diversity of human experience. It's not common, but it is a piece of human experience that should be more celebrated than despised. And in some cultures, it is. It just so happens that in ours, it is not.
Well, Mark Caesar just hit on where I was going with it, was that, yeah, if they felt they could diagnose it in a fetus, we might suddenly see the right wing making exceptions to the abortion bans.
See, but okay, and I'm going to answer that now. They can't, because before the dynamic in the brain or the physicality in the brain exists to make this determination in a person, it's already developed. It's too late. It's fixed. There is no way that you can tell, at least from our understanding at this point, there's no way you can tell if this fetus is going to have this issue or not. It's either there or not. And exactly why we're not sure. There's ways that you could induce this sort of thing, but on it for its natural genetic behavior, because this, we have to assume that this is that way because these are the instructions that the chromosomes gave at this point. Okay, and somewhere along the line, either those instructions intended this to happen, or there was an error that caused this to happen. But either way, I think it's fair to say that it's a genetic condition. And so therefore, as far as I'm concerned, since the entire existence of human being is in the brain, not in the butt, trans women are women, period. We just have a birth defect for our genitals.
And trans men are men. It's absolutely. And chromosomes themselves are but structures. They are structures. The determinants of biology of a whole are the proteins that the genes provide instruction to produce. So it depends, and their activation or not is dependent on a whole host of factors, some of them environmental and others of them just, how things interact, right? So it's because of a particular karyotype, it doesn't necessarily mean the phenotype is going to wind up being exactly what one would expect based on the structure of the chromosomes, which are the carriers. They're the lattice upon which the genes lie. And it's really it's the interaction, even from the cellular and subcellular level, that make the difference. And each individual organism presents itself as a whole based on everything that went into that organism's development. So it's tremendously complex, and reducing a human to a particular structure is kind of narrow-minded in my view.
I disagree with that one sentence. I can get onto it later. Go ahead.
I just wanted to highlight.
No, I'm done.
Comment.
I'm curious about the disagreement, but
okay, say it again then.
Well, if I can just briefly, Ember had a comment on the meaning of next.
No, let Stephanie say this first so she doesn't forget.
Okay.
I said that reducing the complexity of the whole to any particular individual structure is reductive.
Okay.
And not taking into consideration the being that is the result of the interaction of the various structures that cause that being to become that being is reductionist.
Okay. Now I'll try to remember that. And Ember, go ahead with Embers.
Ember said, I have a minute on next. The name has lots of meanings. One is to connect or join, to make contiguous, but another is from Latin, meaning a violent death or to be murdered.
Or it's from a video game.
Yeah.
Stephanie, I disagree with it on one level. I agree with you on the level that you intended. But I disagree with it on another level that we are such infants when it comes to understanding the brain, and particularly in sexuality.
Yeah.
That we need to look at things this way. We need to make categories and understand relationships. And we do that with labels, and we do that with studies, and we do that with correct and sometimes incorrect assumptions as we go through our hypothesis development. And so I don't see it as anything destructive. It's just what we have to do at this time. The danger is when you get the, poorly educated who have attitude issues.
Did you bring?
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But the danger, if there's a danger in that, is because of people who take a narrow view as this one particular element being determinative as to, if we're talking about the example of gender, as to being determinative, as you hear from the gender crits. It's like they'll boil it down to chromosomes. Well, there are examples where the chromosomes are not predictive of phenotype, because the genes, don't, for one reason or another, don't interact and don't produce the expected results. Like, in SRY, or the SRY gene not expressing and resulting in complete androgen insensitivity, that kind of thing, right? There's that. They want to reduce it down to gamete production or something like that. But when you get down to when you isolate one particular characteristic as being determinative, that's when trouble begins. And I certainly don't disagree that investigation of the whole is part of the scientific process, and understanding each individual piece is extremely important, and contributes to the sum total of human knowledge. But we also need to bear in mind that the organism that results at the end of the day is much more complicated than this attribute or that attribute or the other attribute, if you see what I mean. That's all I'm saying. So I agree with you as far as that's concerned. Yes, we do need to investigate.
Oh, you're concerned that you agree with me?
Do you want
I'm not concerned. No, I'm not concerned. What I hear you saying is that inquiry into each one of these individual pieces is important, and I agree with that. If you're asserting that any one of those individual pieces are ultimately determinative of results for the entire organism and for the entire expression of a myriad of traits that indicate sex or gender, that's where I have a problem, because I see humans as being a composite of a myriad of different influences and traits.
Jenny, do you want me to post this next image you put up?
Sure. I just want to answer Randall Magley real quick about the why are we evolving bigger asses? Well, that was answered a number of years ago in your business in music, and that the answer is I like big butts and I ain't gonna lie. You know,
That's
Yep.
right.
that's
Okay,
why
so-
they're getting bigger.
Okay, so what are we
We're
looking
all
at here?
We're all fundamentally baboons, is why.
The
The
limbic.
limbic system.
So what are we looking at here? Jenny, this is your thing, so. Jenny?
I'm sorry. Duh, I wasn't paying attention there, as you could tell. Okay, let me just crop in here. If you look at this little area here, and you see this kind of turquoise bluish line that curves around and it kind of looks like a loop. That whole section there is like the hypothalamus kind of area and stuff like that. And those little things that we're talking about are just as like micro dot grain size of sand sort of spots that are at the base of that blue thing. And that's why it's called the striatum terminalis, the base pair. Never mind. But that's why it's called that little bitty spot right down there. You take the whole brain and look at that one little bitty spot, and that's what's causing this entire world to go crazy right now. Is one little spot in all of that. Isn't that amazing?
Mm. Also, on this, are you trying to say that homosexual male, heterosexual male? Are you trying to say that that males are just denser?
Well, yeah, we kind of always knew that, but it's just proven now.
So I'm trans because I wasn't dense enough to be male?
Apparently.
Okay. Should I cover it?
Sorry, I should have muted for that. It's cracking my back.
See where we can go from here. You want me to cover the next?
Well, did you
big
have a
thing,
couple of Jenny's memes?
Yeah, I got some older ones.
Yeah, I thought we still had a few that she hadn't had a chance to narrate yet.
Oh yeah, now I won't even remember what the fuck they were.
Yeah. Maybe save that for afterwards. Should I get into the heavier topic here? Or...
Okay, yep. Go ahead.
All right.
Which one are we going to next?
The Aaron Bushnell. You can cover that one, or do you want me to cover a different topic?
I have to say that I've kind of stayed away from the news recently, so I don't really know much about that one. I mean, if you want to explain it all, that's fine.
Yeah, I've got explanations here and all that. And though, okay, before I do any of this, big, huge warning ahead of time for everybody. This is going to be a hard one, and to get through. So, trigger warning, whatever warnings you want to put up, because I am going to be playing the video here. Hold on, let me get this. Get this set up here.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to put a timestamp for this in the description so that people are prepared for it.
I want to go. All right. Just want to let you know ahead of time. Seeing is playing this video will probably put a warning on the stream later when it goes on to replay. But
Yep.
This was his last thing.
No. I am an active duty member of the United States Air Force, and I will no longer be complicit in genocide. I'm about to engage in an extreme act of protest.
This is blurred out, so
compared to what people
so you
have
won't
been
see.
experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers. It's not extreme at all. This is what our ruling class has decided will be normal.
I didn't know this existed. This is horrible.
Oh, it gets there's actually the actual. This does get blurred out, so you don't see him actually burning.
Yeah, now I understand. It's still horrible.
Yeah.
Can I help you, sir?
Free
Palestine! Hey!
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Man's on fire! Man's on fire!
Get on the
ground! On the ground! On the ground! Get on the ground! On the ground! On the ground! Fire extinguisher! Get a fire extinguisher!
There
Who's
he
got a
drops.
fire extinguisher! Call the board! Call the board! Call the board! Get me a fire extinguisher! Get the fire extinguisher! Jesus Christ! Hey, get the fire extinguisher!
No, I just want to stop here. See this guy in the black? You know, he's holding a gun on Aaron here. This guy here is I don't know if he's a police officer or security for the embassy. That's where he's at, but this guy here is actually the most disturbing part of this video for me.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah, what would possibly call for a gun here?
I need a fire extinguisher!
They have it right here. It's coming. He said he has it. Another one.
I don't need guns, I need fire extinguishers!
You notice he said, "I don't need guns. I need fire extinguishers."
Yeah.
So even the medics are like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Come on, sorry. Go.
Keep on.
Hey, I'm going on the board.
But yeah.
Wes, the guy was dead on the ground, smoldering. There was no need for a gun. It was just stupid, completely asinine robot cop behavior. It's what causes all our cop problems.
So I also want to cover here, since we're into this deep, why did he do this? This is the big thing we need to look at, and here is why. We have an example like this is here. What you hearing? What you hear in the background? It's an ambulance, and if there's an ambulance coming here. And that was the ambulance getting drone strike by Israel.
Yeah, that's... How can you expect to have any allies when you're attacking hospitals and ambulances? The Geneva Convention specifically details that as being war crimes. That was the whole idea of the Red Cross, that if you fired on any vehicle with a Red Cross, that is a war crime.
And here's another example here. That's an ambulance that was destroyed. If you notice, the bomb that was used to destroy it, American made.
Yep.
That was what they used to destroy that ambulance is what we gave them.
Yeah. Yeah, and yet we're having such problem getting the U.S. to support a ceasefire. And it's like, why would you not support people stop shooting at each other while they try to work things out?
This is why he did what he did. And here we have a little girl crying after her parents were killed.
Yeah.
That's her little sister. They're trying to comfort her.
The reason is that Netanyahu, who is in charge, who we cannot tell what to do. We can tell him all we want, but he don't have to listen. Has no intention of giving up, and he is the extremist right. He's the MAGA of Israel, and he wants all of the Palestinians no longer existing, shall we say?
Yeah, he wants a full genocide. But here's how they're reporting, how our news articles are reporting this stuff. New York Times. A man set himself on fire outside the Israel embassy in Washington. The police said U.S. airman sets himself on fire outside Israel embassy in Washington. U.S. airman sets himself on fire outside Israel embassy in Washington. Do you see anything about freeing Palestine in this? And let's look even more recently, or just a Google search on it. Aaron Bushnell, self-immolates what we know. Doesn't say anything about what he's trying to push for. Here's this kind of a smear thing. Anti-Israel activist terrorist organization hails Aaron Bushnell as a martyr. So they're trying to make it sound bad. Who was Aaron Bushnell, senior U.S. airman, who set himself on fire again? Nothing as to why he did it in the title. And keep in mind, most people don't get past these titles, so they're not going to get into the nitty gritty. As a tactic, self-immolation is often counterproductive. I believe you guys were saying that. U.S. Airman Aaron Bushnell claimed to have classified the knowledge of U.S. forces fighting in Gaza. This is finally something actually mentioning Gaza. There's one article from the New York Post was even slightly touching on it. It goes in tunnel at night before setting himself on fire.
Bushnell was the second person to do this. In December 2023, an Atlanta woman did it in front of the Israeli consulate in Atlanta. I put a link in the private chat.
So, our news articles are not doing us justice on what's going on.
When go ahead, Jenny.
No, go ahead.
When we were talking before the show about this, the first thing I thought of was were the Buddhists in South Vietnam in the early 60s who were self-immolating in protest of the regime of Diem.
Okay, now I'll go from there. I'm glad that you said that. I really just hate this whole thing of what folks do. I hated it in Vietnam. I hate it now. I hated it when the woman last December. It is just the stupidest fucking thing a person can do who is trying to fight.
Oops. That was not us trying to silence Jenny. That was we're dropping out.
I'm back.
Can continue what you were trying to say?
I don't know where I left off.
It was the stupidest thing you can do.
Oh, okay. The young man would have been immensely more powerful in the movement and the effort if you remained alive. all of this dramatic, horrible thing that people have done to themselves has done absolutely nothing to change anything ever. It doesn't even change the dialogue, except that it added on another layer of the things that they chip away and ignore. Okay, I mean, just look what you just said, Stephanie. You remember these people, these Buddhist monks who did it during Vietnam. And what did they accomplish? And if they accomplished anything, why don't you know it?
Well,
Because the act itself is so horrendous, it clouds any possibility of understanding the message.
well, this
Okay.
is exactly why I wanted to cover this today, because I wanted to get what the message he was trying to get out. So it's now on us to get that message out.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but the message isn't going to go any further, I'm afraid, because the forces that, just like in Vietnam, nobody got to hear the truth until 10 years after.
Yeah.
And we're not going to
Well,
hear the truth.
or
till
Well,
10
we
years
didn't have
after.
we didn't have the internet back then, so we
Well,
didn't
that's
have.
true too.
We didn't have the internet, but it certainly was, the news media was saturated with images of Buddhist monks setting themselves on fire. It was certainly within, it was certainly in everyone's consciousness. And you asked what was the result. Ultimately, the result was the fall of the GM regime, but the GM regime was replaced by a military government, and the war went on until 1975.
Yep.
And these protests were happening in 1962, 1963.
Yeah.
Did it highlight the injustices of the GM regime? Yes, but it didn't. The American involvement in the war peaked at 650,000 troops in 1967.
But you can't,
which was
you
5
can't
years
say,
later.
You can't say that it had any positive effect on the outcome of the war
No.
between when it occurred and in 1975, when we finally got out and cost thousands of lives just doing that part of it too. It's a waste. It's a total waste of everything, of intellectualism, of the physicality of the individual, the family damage, the society damage of that something like that occurs. The congealed memory of the entire population. It's just it's wrong. It's wrong. It's incredibly self-serving as far as I'm concerned.
I don't think it was self. I don't agree with self-serving, though.
Well, I think Mark
I
Caesar makes a good point here.
I think it's a big shame that someone feels like they have to go that far just to get eyes on the issue.
Yeah, I think Mark Caesar makes a good point, though, that as being part of the military, if he just felt he had to get out of it, that he couldn't participate, and he felt he had no other way out of it.
Yeah, that too.
It's called resignation.
The interesting and also horrifying thing is that this did happen in Atlanta. The woman who did this is still alive.
Though if he
critical
sorry
with
to jump on
with critical injuries, obviously, and I just did a Google search for that incident, and it's on the second page. This is the problem, that it's this kind of thing happens and it disappears. Now, the fact that this guy was an airman and on active duty is probably going to make it stick around a little bit longer, but really
I would love to know his
goes
MOS.
away.
Also, if he just did man resigns and protest, we probably wouldn't be talking about it right now. So obviously, it has had clearly, since we are talking about it as now, he did have some impact as to what he was trying to achieve.
Oh, I'm not saying that there is totally zero. Yes, we absolutely are going to talk about it for a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month, but that's it. and it will
Yeah, I
have no
get
effect on
Jenny's
the larger
point.
picture.
Yeah, it's going to be rather short-lived. And it's unfortunate that, yeah, somebody who had that kind of passion about highlighting the cause, didn't stay around to have a more long-term effect.
And again, imagine what extreme he had to go through just to get that 2 weeks, maybe a month.
Yeah, well, and especially now with the 24-hour news cycle that that the highlighted topic can change every 15 minutes, and
Yeah, I'm going to say something. I hope I don't get any of us in trouble, especially myself. Back in Vietnam, another thing that happened was the bombing of Sterling Hall at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And the guys who were involved in that got away. But they were known, but they still got away. And they had post office family pictures up for decades. And they finally caught them, but it was better than 30 years. Now, unfortunately, when they did that, there was somebody in the building and they were killed. But their intent was to do it when nobody was in the building and they didn't know about this one guy. So let's say that the death hadn't happened. That act that they had more effect because it was something that we talked about for 30 years. And still do. People talk about that bombing. They certainly went to prison and certainly should because of what they did. But it was intended to be less destructive than this situation, and sadly it didn't. And none of that makes it right. But
these are most recent stats from your Med Monitor, by the way. It is getting harder to get these numbers out too.
Okay, Mage, you want to explain this a little better? Because I expect people with the small screen aren't going to be able to read the text here.
Trying to have it. But basically, we have number killed 38,666. That's 14,350 children, and 8,620 women, and 34,570 civilians. Injured 71,222. Journalists killed 130. 2 million displaced. Civilian and defense workers 180. 41 killed, 143 injured. Heritage sites 199 destroyed. That's basically your
historical
sites. Healthcare facilities 256. That's 28 hospitals, 65 clinics, 163 ambulances. Healthcare professionals 756, 326 killed, 430 injured. Religious sites, press headquarters 173.
The Republic of Ireland has recently voted, the Dáil voted unanimously to boycott Israel and to deny its airspace to any supplies going to the Israeli regime.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Which is a good step for a European country, albeit a small one, with pretty good ties to the United States. As diplomacy engages here, I think that as world public opinion turns against Likud and the Israeli regime, there may be hope for change, but it's insufficient to the task, really, of what's being done in the name of that nation to the Palestinian people, not just in Gaza but also in the West Bank. It's not good.
Something I see as a relevant statistic here that I mean, obviously the number of people killed is horrific, but the 200 heritage sites destroyed. The
Yes.
reason they're fighting over that little strip of land is because of the history they connect to it. And in the process, they're completely destroying all of that history.
You'd think that if God promised a people a land, that God would make certain that it didn't require massive death in order to secure the promise. But
Yeah.
Yahweh ain't a nice guy. Never has been.
He doesn't seem to think things through. I mean, even
Well,
though he knows the result of everything, he doesn't really seem to think it through.
oh, well, no, he thought it through. Well, go slaughter the Amalekites. What, you mean the men? No, everyone. Burn it to the
Well,
ground.
That idea of getting rid of all sin by flooding the world certainly worked out well, didn't it?
Not well, no. Yes. I'm going to do a genocide because I'm tired of these little ants running around. But I like this family over here. I'll give them a little pass.
And we got stories like this coming out. Israel turns safe corridor to Gaza in the south off into new trap. Yep, kill hungry, forceful, displaced Palestinians. After forcing Palestinian civilians to flee from Gaza City to the area of Al Mawaski, I think I'm not really good at pronouncing these names, in the Gaza Strip up south, the Israeli army has killed these same civilians as the Mawadi Gazi checkpoint in the central Gaza Strip. Israeli forces also targeted civilians waiting for their aid trucks near the checkpoint. Euromed Human Rights Monitor reported, as documented by the way, I won't read the whole thing, but it's kind of going on during the forced evacuation of over 300 civilians, the majority of whom were women, children, and elderly people from Gaza City to the south part of the Gaza Valley, which began on Thursday, the 22nd February. The Euromed Monitor field team recorded horrifying testimonies of Israeli tanks firing artillery shells and bullets at them, despite the fact that they were carrying white flags, obeying Israeli army orders, and walking in army designated streets. They were specifically targeted. So here are people, white flags. They're following all the rules they were given. They're still being hit.
Yeah, well, just like they're hitting the ambulances and hospitals. They're destroying the hospitals. They're killing the medical staff so that the injured people don't have any chance of getting treated.
Oh, it's clearly the stated policy of the Israeli government to turn Gaza into a wasteland. And it started right off the bat. I mean, within like 3 weeks of Israel's assault on Gaza, they had dumped the equivalent in TNT of 2 of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bomb into Gaza, which is the size of metropolitan Detroit. I mean, for heaven's sake, if it wasn't obvious at that point in time that it was genocidal in nature, it sure as shit should be. Lo, these 3 months later, 4 months later, Jesus.
Well, yeah, this has been going on for 70 odd years now?
No, this has been going on for several thousand years.
Yeah, but I mean, since they decided to recognize Israel as a nation.
Yeah, just like thousands of years ago. You guys have heard me say this before. Maybe some in the chat have. There's no good guy here.
Yeah, I agree with
Palestinian
that.
people and Hamas are not good. The Jewish people in Israel
Yep.
are not good. None of them. All
Yep.
they want to do is fucking kill each other.
Mm.
It's the basis of their religions. Okay, and they've infected Christianity with it too. And the three Abrahamic religions are the absolutely most bloodthirsty, humankind destroying organizations and concepts of all time. And I blame 100% religion, all religion, to
It
why
gives a
what
lot
causes
of
this.
evidence to my theory that the Bible was actually written by Satan just to cause chaos among men.
So we can now establish purple rhymes with orange as a Gnostic. The world is ruled by the demiurge.
Well, I might be agnostic. I don't know.
No, not agnostic, agnostic. The Gnostics believed that,
I know. I was
this
making a joke
world
there.
was yeah. Okay, fair enough.
The only way this is going to get better is to have Taylor Swift replace George Soros. You know,
You know, if she wanted to, I'm sure she could get elected to Congress.
oh God, she could be fucking elected to president. I sure wouldn't want her. I don't think she's. Well,
No more
she probably is
celebrities.
that smart. What the fuck? I don't know. She needs to learn a little bit more about politics and stuff. But
Hey, if
she's,
Trump can
Well-
do it.
No more celebrities, thank you, please. No more celebrities.
Well, and the fact that how she's handled her own career, that she certainly seems to be better at finances than most of the politicians.
including Trump. She started from zero. He started from 45 million.
Yeah, apparently he doesn't have the money. His lawyers just filed with the in the civil suit. His lawyers just filed a declaration that he didn't have the dollars to.
Oh no shit!
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
heard about that.
Oh
Yeah.
He's
There's a lot of
trying to get the judge.
Mm.
He's trying to get the judge to agree to a $1 million bond. It's like,
no.
I'm so rich
Yeah.
I don't have to pay, right?
There is a lot of
dude, your
speculation that
your
he's
history of
actually
not paying
broke.
anybody for anything precedes
Yep.
you.
Well, let's see
He's
here.
notoriously known for not paying his bills. So, if the bill collectors are really coming after him, it could very well be that he has negative assets.
he can stiff the contractors, but he ain't going to be able to stiff the state of New York.
Let's see. Taylor Swift
Yep.
is 34, so next election she could legally run. She was born in Pennsylvania. Yeah, she could legally run in next election.
When is her birthday?
December 13th, 1989.
That would make her 35 come this December. She can run before she's 35. She just can't take office before she's 35.
Oh, so
Correct.
yeah, she could run for this
Yeah,
one.
so she could run in this November election, because if she was elected, she wouldn't be sworn in until January.
She will be eligible to serve on the 21st of January, 2005. So, yeah.
Well, let's start a movement. Taylor Swift for president, Flying Spaghetti Monster for vice president.
No more celebrities. No. Ronald Reagan started a trend, and it wasn't a good one.
Yeah.
And then isn't it interesting? I'll never forget the hypocrisy of this. That ever since, and even before Reagan, you Democrats and celebrities, they're stupid. Well, then why do you keep electing them to office? Fred Thompson, Ronald Reagan, Gopher from Love Boat, and Sonny Bono.
Tommy Tuberville, the stupidest man in the Senate.
Let's not forget Arnold Schwarzenegger for governor. Yeah, because in an election, name recognition means a lot more than actually being qualified for the job.
Gee, what evidence do you have of that?
Hey, let's be fair to Jerry Springer. He was mayor. He was mayor of Cincinnati before he was a pop star or
So
whatever.
he went the
TV
he
personality.
detransitioned.
He went the other way. He went from politics to showbiz, right?
He was like, I'm going to get out of politics and go for something that actually pays.
Well, you have to be really corrupt for your politics to pay.
Yeah.
Hey, I got someone who can change the subject on. Perp and I both complained about how our hair just doesn't seem to want to grow.
I still.
I've been starting to get some treatment for a hyperthyroid situation I'm in. We're in the infancies. We don't know where it's going. There's a big old spot on the thyroid, but they don't think it's cancerous at this point. But they give me these weird medications and stuff. My hair started growing and my breasts did too.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well,
thyroid is all hormones, folks. And if you don't know, it regulates virtually everything in the body. And God damn it, it's fucking with me.
Yeah. So Jenny's gonna be the 7'6" and no time flat. No.
Yeah, no. Just the hair will be, not me.
Well, actually, after about 2 years on HRT, my hair did finally start growing again.
Oh, that's good. Good.
So yeah, in the last year, it's been getting a bit longer, and also.
Now you're talking head hair, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my body hair is virtually eliminated.
Yeah, not your pubes.
No.
Could have been talking about that. Maybe you're starting some braids down there. I don't know.
But also, before I started transitioning, I was having, the problem with the receding hairline. And I think it has also halted that. So my forehead is not getting any taller anymore. So I'm sure that has to do with the testosterone blockers.
No, there's no hair there at all, honey bunny. I really resent that, and it's very hurtful. There is no hair anywhere on my body at all. Anywhere. I mean, not even the pits anymore. Just a little bit patch down there. That's it.
Well, mostly what body hair I've got left is so light and fine that you have to get up real close to see any of it.
Yeah, I don't even have that. There's no light and fine anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm less hairless than most cis women.
Apparently, trees is a hobbit.
Toe knuckle hair is
great. I like it.
I love toe knuckle hair.
Leathery soles and covered
it looks so nice.
Awesome.
Looks so nice.
Yeah.
No hole in the
and
ground.
Anything to do with feet, I don't get. I just don't get the feet attraction at all.
Yeah, but if you have decent toenails and stuff, you go get a damn OnlyFans page and make some money.
Unfortunately, I don't. Yeah, mine are not pretty. I'm not even comfortable with any open-toed shoes.
Well, there's people who are just into feet when they're in high heels. So get some heels and just shoot that.
I was thinking of doing that, because I've got good legs. So I was thinking of doing an OnlyFans, just with all the different boots and shoes. But I suck at self-promotion, so I don't know how I would ever get anybody to be aware of it.
Well, you put it on OnlyFans and you'll be discovered because people go and browse.
Yeah, just call the channel Only Feet. Be great.
Yeah, and just put it up on Twitter for a couple of weeks. That, hey, go to my OnlyFans page if you're into feet.
I was thinking of calling it Only Legs and, put right in the description that you're never going to see anything above the waist.
OnlyFans for only legs.
Yep.
I think anybody who's got something that can cash in on OnlyFans should do it.
Well, if
well,
for
making
guys who like muscular legs,
Or you could call it the soul of discretion, SOLE of discretion.
oh, I love that. I love that title.
Apparently, that you can't show your feet on YouTube, which I think is one of that's against terms of service for somehow or another. It just seems a little weird, but
What?
Yeah.
Somebody told me that, and I just because I raised my foot to the camera at one point. Oh no! Don't do that. We'll get taken off the air. It's like
YouTube treats feet the same as it treats seeing nipples.
Oh my
That's
God.
so weird. It's just so weird. I mean, come on, really?
That really is stupid.
all that tells me is that the person who puts up the terms for YouTube has a foot fetish.
Yes, they hired.
It's one of those things of like, I don't have trouble deciding what's porn. If it turns me on, it's porn.
Or as Justice Potter Stewart put it in words that are probably on his tombstone, I know it when I see it, as regards hardcore pornography.
Yep.
It's like that's your criteria. So
that's Republican criteria, and everything from a kiss on the street to bestiality is obscene to them. So it's all obscene to them.
Well, and now there's this whole trend of these gamer girls who get one of these little kids' wading pools because it says that you can't show a woman in a bikini unless she's in a pool or a jacuzzi. So they're sitting in a little 3-foot diameter pool with 2 inches of water. So they can be there in a bikini.
Okay. I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it's one way around it.
So do you like her feet? Huh?
Yeah, I must have missed that one. I have never seen Amy's feet, but
if you do video of your feet, is it called footage?
Yep.
Mm. You have to remember that one.
Yeah, Les says Twitch has that. I don't know. Purple feet sounds like there would be a serious circulation problem in my legs.
Yeah.
Or it would be an enologist channel or something. It's like purple feet. It's like, we're going to explore the wine.
You could go out in winter and get some frostbite on your toes and have them partially removed or something like that. That would be a whole nother fan page that people would be into too. People are weird.
That's true. People are weird.
I would bet, somebody like to take me up on this bet. I'll bet you $20 that if you do an OnlyFans and the only thing you show is somebody licking the top of a soda bottle, just tight shots of tongues and bottle tops and lips, you will get all kinds of response.
Well, I wouldn't really want to show my face for it, so maybe if I could come up with a mask or something.
No, I said tongues and lips and bottle, yep. Nothing else.
Well, yeah, no, on similar terms, I was thinking that I'll bet I could still do the banana trick.
Gimp mask?
Yeah, that's I'd have to find some kind of mask.
Well, I suppose you could perform fellatio on a banana.
Hey, Reg.
You could carve it before you use it for that.
Yeah, the banana trick is being able to, swallow a banana down and bring it back up completely intact without breaking anything off of it. And actually, when I was with my late fiance, she did a video. She made a video of me doing it. So
I know a guy whose member was so long that during a blowjob he burned the tip of it. Think about it. Stephanie, I figured you'd have this instantly.
Yeah, I think I get where you're going with that.
Acid burns. Acid burns. So long, acid burns. Stomach acid.
We got it.
Well, I'm still
Well,
looking for a guy with
It
a
depends on which way it goes. Well, either way. Try that with a banana. Oh, wait, whoa.
Okay. All right. I guess we're ready for another topic here then. Unless we just want to do a wrap up here, because by the time we wrap up, it would be 2 hours.
I don't know. I'm having fun.
Okay. All right. We can keep going. I don't have a time limit today.
Brainless.
Well, I do have more I can cover if we need to, but I can always save it for next week. It's no big deal.
Well, if we go for another hour, then everybody could jump over to Slim's stream.
You know what I'd be afraid of with Slim and looking at that particular part of his body is that I don't know ahead of time if he did the same treatment on that as he did on his tongue.
Yeah, I'm going to bet that he's pierced down there, even though I've never heard him mention it.
That's not what he did to his tongue. He bifurcated his tongue.
Yeah, I don't even want to think of it. Even though I
know. Can you believe that? I saw a woman briefly on YouTube or TikTok, I don't remember, who also has a bifurcated tongue. Nobody's born that way,
Somebody had sent me pictures of a couple of men who had done that to their penis.
Ooh.
And I'm like, why would you show this to me? Oh, yeah, I'm getting grossed out just remembering that.
And can it still get stiff, or does everything leak out? It's
a piercing on his taint. I'm guessing he means piercing on his taint.
I'm thinking it does.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking originally, was they probably had a Prince Albert.
What's a Prince Albert?
Yeah, basically it's a piercing through the head of the penis.
Oh, yee. Sorry, yeah. I asked.
I want to know why it's called Prince Albert. That, I'm apparently Prince Albert had it done, but why?
Because you're Prince? You can?
Yeah, Trees is about right. I guess Trees has seen some of those pictures. Yeah. Yeah, it's the sensation. It taint piercing, then what is it? Just tattooing? Okay, yeah, now we definitely need a change of subject now. Yeah, do we have something that's still a bit lighter? Or some of Jenny's memes?
Can you even remember your memes?
No, but I might when I see them. I have a memory. It's just not very good.
Black massacres. No, that's probably not a good name. Major race riots and lynching of the Red Sun. Oh no.
No, no. I didn't make them brainless. I just come across them and they tickle me for one reason or another.
Yeah, Wes actually has a good topic there. Why do men send dick pics? You know, do they think that that's going to start a conversation with a woman?
Yes, apparently.
Well, I guess it's
Yeah, I mean,
it's a guy reasoning. You know, if the guy was to get a picture of the lady he's parsing, like and then they say hi, you know, that might be a conversation starter for them. So they're figuring it works the other way, and it doesn't.
Good resonance on that one.
Yeah, you did good.
yeah, well, Dave's got it right. Send those Bigfoot pics instead.
Well, mine's about a size 11. Is that a Bigfoot?
Nah,
Yes.
that's a modestly Bigfoot.
Well, yeah. Again, it's the whole problem of having gone through puberty as a male that, you know, I've got a lot of things that would be considered average for a male, but are considered large for a woman. Although it does seem I'm getting shorter. I thought that was a myth, but you look at my
It's not.
medical records, it looks like I've lost almost an inch and a half since I started HRT. You know, and that's going by being weighed and measured at the clinic. And Stephanie's just going to quietly fade away and pretend
Yeah,
she was never part of this
I'm
discussion.
just no. I want everyone to be enjoying the foggy coast of Maine and, you know, the scenery and such. The tide's going out, by the way. If you hadn't noticed, it was breaking over the rocks a little bit higher.
Tide is going out, but the Clorox is coming in, or
no, it's I don't know.
Jenny
Is the
beat me
Atlantic
to it. I was
Ocean
about
made of
to make the same
Clorox?
joke.
sorry, I couldn't hear both of you.
I said you beat me to it. I was about to make the exact same joke.
Well, the Atlantic Ocean, as so far as I know, is not full of Clorox, so I think it's not. No.
Well, I have a whole book of laundry jokes, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, they should be good, clean ones then, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm looking for a picture I wanted to send you for you to put up in the memes, since we seem to be talking about that subject here and there. I'm just trying to find it. Where did it go?
Well, Brainless Steel definitely put in a loud vote for him.
God damn it. I know it's in here.
And a bunch of people weighing in on their shoe size. Oh, hey, Sammy. I think Sammyson might not be feeling too well today. He's been in his hidey holes. Like he's trying to stay in the dark today.
Mm. Well, while we're waiting, I thought this was kind of a funny thing. Oh, no, it's not the one. Where did it go?
Yeah,
There it is. Anyone who can't read that is Reebok is fast. Nike is faster, but these are the fastest.
Fascist.
Yeah, there was something about the red sole
Yes.
Yeah, being a company trademark for one of the shoe
Yes.
companies.
And they have successfully sued other people for having a red sole.
Yeah,
So it looks like
Nice.
Donnie bought it again.
yeah. So yeah, he may get sued with a trademark infringement for that.
Oh, he will. That's not a maybe. I think that's outrageously funny. It's
Yeah. Oh,
I
them
sent
golden
2 more
slippers.
memes to you, MidAmerica. The first one I just came across, and it always makes me giggle when I see it, and I just wanted to share it with everybody. This first one I got during my first round of being a debunker for Flat Earth. And Flat Earth, the guys who don't think we're a globe, but we are a globe. So you can show that one anytime.
Yep, I'm getting it up there. It's just
Okay.
takes a bunch of buttons to press.
Okay, no, that's fine. I need to know what you're doing.
Oh,
So
we are.
shut up. Isn't that just an enjoyable shot? It's perfect.
Well, that's being a globe earther very literally. In
It's just so silly. Okay, I'm sorry.
no, that was a good one. I know you had a second one there too.
Yeah. You guys are all talking about it, so I just thought I would send you and you can introduce it. There you go, a dick pic.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, at least that one's useful.
Okay, folks, go ahead, copy it, take it. I stole it. You might as well too.
But where am I here? There.
Well, Mark, that's all the hormones. It's what happens. It's kind of a side effect you expect. Plectrum? A plectrum?
Oh, what's a plectrum?
I'm thinking it's some sort of clinical name for a pick, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably one of those terms only musicians use.
Captive, I've taken to calling them flurfies, not flurfers anymore. I use flurfies because they tend to be extremely insulting of trans people and attack trans women all the time. So it's time for them to get a little of their own medicine. So now they're flurfies, which is a very effeminate name for them. If they want to play that game, then they're going to get played right back to them. Flurfies.
Okay. Yep. I had to Google it. That a plectrum is a small flat instrument used for strumming or plucking a string instrument.
Oh, wow. God damn it. I learned something today.
Yeah. We learned a new word.
Oh, Captive, yes, they are. It fits in right with all their other delusions. They all hate trans people. They all vote for Trump. Ask them. You'll find out it's true. I've never met a flirter that would vote Democrat. They all believe in the Kennedy assassination conspiracy.
Yeah.
Every conspiracy you can imagine, they believe.
I've heard
JFK
it
is
said.
alive. Elvis is alive.
I've heard it said quite a few times that flat Earth is just the gateway conspiracy to get them onto harder things. That you start with flat Earth and they wind up with QAnon.
Oh God, QAnon. How can QAnon even exist? It's just, one more click and they can find out everything QAnon says is bullshit, and they won't do it.
Well, no, because if they find an article that says it's bullshit, that's obviously been planted by the deep state.
Yeah, how much are they paying you, Jenny?
Speaking of the deep state,
Who I get my check every third of the month, unless it's on a weekend or a holiday. Then I get it on the day before the holiday, which means, well, the day before the weekend, which is in this case tomorrow. And yes, it is signed by George Soros. Yes.
yeah, I expect that a lot of the QAnon is, disinformation by agents of other governments.
Actually, I think it's just a bunch of trolls who are screwing around on 4chan.
Yeah, well, I think that most of it is just, people thinking, okay, what other bullshit can we get these idiots to believe?
I would say just about anything.
Apparently, there doesn't seem to be any limit, and again,
Well, we were talking before the show about how we could get them to believe that tooth decay is the result of trans people.
yeah. Again, though, if instead of creating this channel, if 7 years ago I had created a Woo channel, I would be having a lot more money than I have now.
No, not really. Apparently, YouTube has been suppressing the Woo channels.
Yeah. Enough of them get through.
Mark Caesar is celebrating Sadie Hawkins Day. How about that?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Who are you going to ask out? Oh, it's the other way. Oh, I'm sorry. Forget it.
Yep. Yeah, it's for women to propose to their crushes.
I thought Sadie Hawkins Day was the day that gay people ask the other gender out. That they break tradition, and go hetero. Never mind.
I getcha. Yeah, Captain Death saying that the flippers can make bank on the super chats and the channel memberships and things like that.
Flurfies.
Yeah, there's really only one Woo channel I'm subscribed to, and that was he. Especially usually he pretty much says that I don't believe most of this stuff I cover, and we're just having basically we're having a bit of fun and covering it as if it was real.
Yeah.
I can find it actually kind of useful because it kind of gives you a good chance to kind of apply some skepticism to the stuff. Is usually how I treat it.
Yeah. But like I said, I spent 25 years in the pagan community, so I could be, selling potions, and it's just a matter of the wording that I can say that many people believe this will cure this. I'm not making any actual claim myself, just that I have met people who would believe that.
Hey, I've got this homeopathic cure for your gullibility.
Yep. Well, I don't have a cure for it. I only have a treatment. You have to send me $50 a month until you figure it out.
Yeah.
Homeopathy, that's where if you need a painkiller, you put a jar of distilled water next to a bottle of aspirin in the moonlight for 7 days, and then it'll act as a painkiller.
No, it's like cures like. So you need something that was actually cause pain in there.
Well, just before you take it, you could smash your hand with a hammer or something, I guess.
And how many times you shake?
I suppose if you smash your hand with a hammer, you would forget about your headache.
Yeah, and how many times you shake it and how you shake it also matters. That's important. Yep. I don't know why, but it's important.
I wouldn't know.
Hey,
Jenny, do you think about florfets?
Huh?
Do you think about florfets? Brainless Steel is asking you.
Oh. Flurfets. Yeah, well, that would work. It's a lot more to write. There are some female flat earthers. You could call them flurfets, flurfies and flurfets. That would piss them off. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I get.
Well, making your own homeopathic remedy is very simple. Let's say you want something for a sleep pill. You take 1 drop of caffeine and add it to 100 drops of water, and you shake that up and down 3 times, side to side 3 times, and then you take 1 drop of that, add another 100 drops of water, and you just keep that cycle going for I think it was about at least 30-40 times. But you want to do more. You do it better. It gets stronger. It gets. And so a lot of these will have 100, 200 times doing that. And there's your homeopathic sleep aid for sleep.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, I have to keep the recipes secret. But they would all be powered by my crystal that was charged in the moon.
Yeah.
And then all I need to do is just sell little bottles of various different colors of water.
Wait, does glass from a window disrupt the moon charging or?
Would that be heritage glass or modern made?
Yeah.
Heritage glass? No, that's because that's pure glass. Real natural glass. Today's stuff, boron silicates and things. That's just not. That's
Yeah,
just
well,
not real glass.
and if you've got the double pane with the argon gas in between, that's just gonna nullify it all.
Yeah.
Mm.
Argon is practically immoral.
Who was the kook that was into orgone energy? Who was that guy? Forget.
Don't recall that.
Orgone energy. What was that stuff?
Oregon?
I don't know.
No, orgone.
It sounds like something spirit science might have gotten into.
Spirit has gotten into everything.
Yeah.
A pseudoscientific concept variously described as an esoteric energy or hypothetical universal force, life force, originally proposed in the 1930s by Wilhelm Reich. That's right, that guy. He retired in Maine, and he had a whole orgone thing going on up here for oil. It was just kooky, weird shit.
So it's sort of like quintessence, huh?
Yeah, the orgone energy thing. So the orgone energy accumulator, which is essentially a little closet with a chair in it.
Well, I mean, prime example of how far you can go with this stuff is Scientology. It was literally started by a science fiction author. And how much money has he raked in from that?
There's your orgone energy accumulator.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's
Okay.
just a box lined with aluminum panels.
Yeah, you open the door and there's a little chair. There you go. There's what the fuck?
Now that makes you like stronger sexually or what?
Well, it depends on what you do when the door is closed and you're in the chair, I suppose. But
looks like a nice wardrobe closet.
Oh, that's what they have at those banks. Okay, I wonder what those are.
Ugly
I thought
chair.
like, you took your safe deposit box in there, but no, it's used a different kind of bank.
Does it have to be? Does the chair have to be that ugly?
I don't know.
Well, there's no light in the box, so once you close the door, you can't tell anyway.
Good point. It's an isolation chamber.
No, actually, that one leaks. I can tell that the top and the bottom, the door's actually a little too short. You've got gaps up top and bottom.
Couldn't you just make it all out of aluminum? What do you need the wood for?
I think the wood's just to make it look like a piece of furniture, so people don't ask
And
why
why
you've
would
got
you
this
put your
weird
wood
thing.
planks horizontally and not vertically? Looks like a garage door here.
Nah, that's
Oh
just
my
a choice of the
God.
woodworker. Also, it might have something to do with maybe he just only had planks of a certain length.
It's on the sides too.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a fairly decent job woodworking. They just didn't quite get the door to fit right.
Talking about going down the rabbit hole. Holy shit! Reading about Wilhelm Reich.
But
Goodness.
see, if you get too much air, then you won't start hallucinating.
Oh yeah. Oh, share this picture.
Okay, another one on.
Yeah, this is just something beautiful. I was not aware existed.
Oh yes,
that's nice.
I have
Oh.
seen this one.
Out in South Dakota, there's a 50-foot sculpture that was done to basically honor the spirit and religiosity or the religious beliefs of Native Americans, and it's called divine divine sky and earth, I believe it is.
It's not the wrong one. That's not what I was trying to go for. Wrong one. There we go.
Yep.
Zoom in on that, folks. That is just an unbelievably beautiful sculpture, and that photograph is particularly good. That's why I copped it.
Ooh, that's neat.
Yeah, I don't know how to get this to zoom.
You're right click. You have to bring it into a new tab, but it's.
I was hoping that somebody had made like home-sized versions of it, like they used to do of bronze sculptures and stuff, like Rodin's The Thinker or something like that. But you when a person's standing next to it, they're just super tiny. It's really huge.
Okay, I gotta take that one down for just a second too.
There you go.
Oh, okay. You got me. All right, I was just figuring it out.
I haven't been able to look close enough at this, but I wonder if it's Photoshop.
No, it is an actual sculpture. I think this one they may have done something with the background in Photoshop.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, the background looks like there's some photoshopping in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shadow and color bands, the luminosity between the background and the foreground doesn't match.
It is a gorgeous sculpture.
Yeah, isn't it?
And there looks like there may be some elements from on the skyline there too in the background. Yeah. See with the green and the.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have to think, especially with the way it's posed in that this was kind of in response to all the giant Christ sculptures they've made.
Oh yeah, good idea. Yeah, I like that.
Something to highlight the native heritage before the Europeans got here.
What do you happen? Does anyone know which tribe this is from?
The Ogawa Sioux, I think. I'm not positive, but I believe that's what it was. If my ragged memory serves.
You said you knew what the name of the sculpture was?
Divine Earth and Sky, I think that was. Or oh no, the dignity of Earth and Sky.
It's really quite stunning.
Ah, yeah.
You can get Christmas tree ornaments and a keychain. And a
Dignity
coffee
of
mug.
Earth and Sky is overlooking the Missouri River near Chamberlain, South Dakota.
That's like adjacent to I-90 freeway, so if you ever want to go, it's an easy drive. Oh yeah, this one. Since we're talking about this, another one to show. This is absolutely one of my most favorite marble sculpture works that I've ever seen in my life. It's just I still look at it and I feel like I can't figure out how they did this. You won't believe it when you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you've already seen it, then you might believe it. How do you do that? How do you make marble look transparent?
Oof.
Yeah. Isn't that fucking amazing? God, I love this so much.
I helped raise 9 kids before I started HRT, so I'm a transparent. Okay, I found a page on the author, but yeah, I'm not finding anything that says, what tribe he represents.
Oh, there's a state park site that features this, and it discussed it there. That's where I recall seeing it. Well, so nobody reacts to this. Nobody's impressed, just me.
I'm impressed. It's definitely
No, I'm impressed too. I just, like I said, I was trying to find something on Google to say what tribe he was, but I'm not finding that information. Yeah, apparently 3 different women, 3 different Native American women were inspiration for the sculpture.
According to the sculpture honors the culture of Lakota and Dakota peoples who are indigenous to South Dakota. Assisting the sculptor was a sculptor of Tom Preble, blah, 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 a couple other people. Apparently, the colors that you see are automotive paint on the quilt. And let's see here. It was part of the 125th anniversary of the state. Erected 2016.
Wait, are we back on the statue?
Yeah.
Yeah, back on the dignity of Earth and Sky, the Native American woman.
There.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering about the blue parts. That it's a 50-foot tall sculpture made of stainless steel.
Oh, it is. I thought. Oh, okay. All right.
So I had wondered what the blue parts were. So you said those were just automotive paint on it.
Well, I'm assuming that it says in the Wikipedia that they hired some automotive paint specialists. So I kind of tells me that's what they use.
Well, that would make sense. That it would be a paint that's designed for being out in the elements.
God, when I saw it on the picture, I thought it was aluminum.
Okay. Well, why don't we wrap up here for the day and then Slim will be starting in a little bit. So by the time we finish wrapping up, everybody could jump over to Slim's stream.
Give everybody a chance to get a little break between streams.
Yep. So Stephanie is still there.
I am still here.
Okay. You want to
I
plug
am
some stuff?
indeed.
I know you released a new video today that I haven't had a chance to watch yet.
Yeah, I released a video on the retirement of Turtle Guy Mitch McConnell. And who should it be the first person to deliver accolades but my Senator Susan Collins, the county girl, who promised to secure abortion rights for all, but went with Mitch's assessment of now Justice Kavanaugh, and may she ever live in shame for that vote. But she was the first to just say, praise how much Mitch had done for the nation, among other things. And so I hope she retires soon as well, though I don't hold out hope that she does. So yeah, I did that today very briefly. When I saw the news, I said, oh, good. And then I saw Sloppy Sue get up and deliver that speech, and it's like, and as I said earlier, I covered some of the Oklahoma stuff in a couple of videos. So I've done that. I hope to do some just sort of sail-making stuff coming up. I don't have anything else on the docket right away, but you know.
Yeah. Well, at least now it is not turtles all the way up.
Yeah. Declined to impeach the bastard twice and stole 2 Supreme Court nominations from Democratic presidents.
I think it's fair though that we do give Mitch McConnell credit that he does deserve. You know, I'm this kind of person, you know, all the time. Apparently, he was one of the best friends that the KKK ever had. He's been to lots of their ceremonies and has received many awards from them. So he must be pretty good with them. That's what I figure. And secondly, he's credited with being the #1 senator in American history, actually, who has dashed more dreams on the concrete than anyone else ever has. Oh, okay. And I hear that he smells of elderberry and regret.
Okay, well, enough about the retired turtle. Jenny, you have anything else going on?
No, I'll just be looking for more politicians to say terrible things about.
Okay.
And of course, Beck's show on Sunday, which is one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, Mage, you finally got a gardening video
finally
out.
Finally got my gardening video out on Gardens Happen, and I should have a garden tour coming up this next week. So we look forward to that.
Yeah, I know the weather's been a real problem for you there as far as the garden goes.
Yeah, I'll be highlighting all the lovely pollen that's been assaulting me in this next garden tour.
Yes. Yeah, I have a problem with us getting a little bit of snow and then it melting, because that immediately kicks up the leaf mold.
Oh, did you hear? You're not the southern part. The southern part of Minnesota has been declared a fire hazard. That's how dry we are right now.
Oh,
in winter, a fire hazard.
How dry I am.
And it went down to the 20s last night, but it's going to be 60 tomorrow again.
Yeah, well, on Monday we had 60, and when I was out yesterday after it got dark, we actually got to the point of experiencing sub-zero wind chills.
They let you out after dark?
Darkness is my friend.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I was just going to do that.
I've come to talk to you again.
Because in the dark, a lot of people can't see me, but I can see them. See, I've spent so much time with cats that their vision has rubbed off on me.
Doorknob, I figure that when they plant him in the ground finally, that he's going to have a worse effect on all the vegetation around him than a grove of black walnut trees.
Okay, in the description, I've also got a link posted there. If anybody can help Jyuni a bit, thanks to an anonymous donor helping her with a deposit, she's no longer homeless. She moved into an apartment this week. So at least she's got a roof over her head and a door she can lock. So if anybody wants to send her a little housewarming gift, because she's been living out of her car for several months, and that's really all she has at this point. So I should pull her link
Hey
up
Beck,
here.
you be sure to post about your Sunday show on here, a link for it and all that stuff.
Yep, and I'll probably be on that show as well on Sunday, 6.
Yeah, but you're not getting paid, are you?
Well, you get paid?
I do.
Shit.
Okay, well, here is Joni's link tree. Her link tree, which has her Kofi and all of her other links. She's also taking commissions if somebody needs some artwork done.
I was considering maybe you taking her up on the whole commissions thing.
Yeah, if I had a bit more money, I would. I just can't afford to pay her. I've had a couple of things that I've wanted her to draw for me, but since all my money's got to go in for the van yet.
Yeah, because my videos have that Gardens Happen logo on there. Maybe Gardens Happen. I was thinking about switching that out with the image instead of I always type it out in text.
Yep, and we had talked about before the stream started, but for the general public here, that 2 weeks from today, I will be broadcasting from southern Wisconsin, as I'm going to spend a week down there working on my brother's house and pick up the van. So we will have the van back in a couple of weeks.
Hooray!
Yep. It will be so nice. The car my brother lent me is functional and it's gotten us to our appointments, but it is so the opposite of anything I would have ever bought myself. I really hate driving that beast in the city.
Purple the Pimp.
Yeah, well, the parking spaces at our grocery store are actually too small for that car. That even if the front bumper is over the line, the tail of it is still sticking out into the aisle.
Remember when everything was that big? God.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could play basketball in the trunk of a Cadillac,
Yeah. Well, this is a Mercury. It was a luxury car. It was built to compete with some of the Cadillacs. So, I appreciate that we've had something to get around in, but yeah, it's a 1999 Mercury Grand Marquis.
Nice.
So I ran into a guy the other night on TikTok who still thinks that they have cat litter boxes in classrooms for all the furries. Yeah, why are they Why are they making schools just for these furry kids? Well, they're not.
Yeah, the only reason there was ever cat litter in the classroom was because you haven't done anything about gun control.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be an emergency toilet if a kid needed it during lockdown. And I can tell you, I'm sure it would not have worked. Because cat litter just isn't designed to deal with the volume that a human puts out. You know, a cat, it's never going to be more than an ounce or two at a time. So,
Thank you, Brainless. I'll do that sometime. Just be sure to leave me the links. So and times. Times are most important because I forget shit.
okay, well, of course, we need to thank the people who've been supporting us. Greg Hartwick, Southern Cell, and Von Rick, Skid Crusher, who was, I don't know if he's still here, Robert X and the Lavender Lady, and Kitty the Atheist, which we hadn't heard from for a long time, so I did text her. So she's basically doing as well as she can, you know, issues with chronic pain and fatigue, but so she just hasn't been online because she's needed all of her energy just to, you know, keep her family going.
She's on TikTok.
Oh, you've seen her putting stuff on TikTok? I'm not on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe when you see those from time to time, you could drop a link of one of her videos, you know, onto Twitter.
Fine.
Well, I would appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay. And with that, we will wish you all a good day, good night, good morning, whatever it is, wherever you are.
Bye-bye. Be gay.
Bye.
Hasta la vista.
Later.
Be gay. Do crime.
Later, all.